Hey guys, welcome back to Double D Vintage Baseball Cards. Man, when you get inspired, you just want to make a video. And sometimes you have the opportunity. Sometimes you don't. And I don't always get the opportunity because I share my room with my wife, just like I talk about all the time. Doesn't mean I'm not lucky. I love sharing my our museum together. As you can see, my wife has her old toys that she had as a kid. She doesn't collect these, but she saved them as a kid. A whole wall full in tubs just like I did. Like, what are the odds, right? They mean something to her. We come in this room and we're inspired. Just like I was inspired by my buddy, John Mangini. I mean, we love John. I'm not trying to kiss John's butt. Dude, we're in a text thread together, as I am with so many friends in this community, and there's all kinds of different text threads going on. If you get one, you're in. It's just like, but this one in particular, from like he talked about, we did a live together. Theo, John, Greg, Adam, me. It's been really fun because me and John, like, I mean, he thinks. I'm not going to put words in his mouth. I don't think he actually thinks that we're actual like PSA lovers and that's all we collect. We have a really good time expressing ourselves on these text messages because you can say a lot more than you would on film because you're amongst a group of friends that, I might throw an F-bomb out, but I don't do that on camera. I don't like to curse on camera simply because I have family who watch. I feel like I don't need to, not that I don't need to do that. I hold that back and I'm okay with doing that. But on text messages, you're just like, dude, no way, F you, you're out of control, or right, it's just fun. And so I watched this video and he was talking about the fading of cards and all that. And I'm not going to go into that. We had a fun discussion about it. And I just, I said, dude, people got to use their own eyes. Like if there's a card faded in a 9, I'm not the teacher here. I'm not the hobby watchdog. I've never said I was a hobby watchdog. I'm not looking out for the kid down the street because he got ripped off. Like I think if you're buying a PSA 9 of a vintage card and it's faded or you get hosed, like that's on you. And if you're a kid who does that, then you have a lot of money that you probably shouldn't be doing that. It's dumb. We got to use our eyes, but it just doesn't make sense. I'm not worried about that kid who's got $1,000, $2,000 to spend. I'm not the watchdog. I just come on here to show cards and talk about my feelings about cards and why I collect. And I think kids, when I was a kid, I wish someone would have told me about cards. But I don't go out there and talk to kids about cards, no doubt. But if there's a kid at a card show and he wants to, and I'm at a card shop, I'm the owner, and he comes in 1 time, 2 times, I'm talking to the guy. I'm going to tell him what I think is right and this and that, and don't spend a lot of money, all that. But I don't want to pretend to be the hobby watchdog and like, I want to tell you how I feel. I think there's some people who just make dumb decisions in this hobby, period. Like, just like in life, I've made dumb decisions. There's dumb decisions to be made. You buy a PSA 9 that's faded and ugly, then it's a dumb move. Regardless of if you're an adult or a kid, because I was getting heckled in the chat because I said, yeah, there's some people who aren't, the smartest humans and they follow other people. Does that mean, I don't know. It's just people who follow. Like, don't follow anyone. Just listen, take it in your brain, soak the information in, spit out your own, I don't want to say your own truth because I hate that, but your own thoughts. Spit out what you want to do and where you think it's going. Just because someone's doing something for 30 years, you don't have to do what they're doing, or someone who's done it for 4 years or 1 year. Listen to the guy who's done it for 30 years, like John Mangini, like myself, like millions of other collectors or anything else in life. Listen to it. Don't do what they do. Do what you think is right, that you run through your own brain. I can say things that are dumb, like I was in the live the other day and I said something that I wish I wouldn't have said. I'm going to do that. I'm going to say things that foot in a mouth moment. I'm going to have plenty of those. I probably already had one tonight. But I'm not the superhero. So if you're watching my show, I'm not here to like coddle you and teach you how to do things. I'm just showing you how I collect my thoughts, how I'm taking my personal collection. And I'm taking you in on this journey with me. I'm not trying to convince you that centered cards are the best, although they are the best because they're the rarest, and there is so few of them. But that doesn't mean that you should collect those. They're more expensive. Everyone says card prices are dropping. Not the ones I'm buying. I mean, you get lucky here and there bidding on a card that's centered and no one's buying. You get it all the time. But when you get into the bigger ones and they're centered, you're paying higher than a grade or two above what the grade says on the slab, because I don't give a crap what it says on the slab. I don't care. I look at my wall since the beginning of time. When I look at my wall, I kid you not, I've never looked at the grade. Never. I never cared. I looked at the card. I used to not care about off-centered cards until my wife's like, those are really, she started looking at my cards finally because of YouTube. You know, like she's like, I watch it all day. She watches it. And she's like, those things are so far off-centered, I can't look at those because we do art. Maybe it's because we do art. She does art. We sell her artwork. All this stuff. The whole point of me when I get on here isn't to guard you of the evils in the card world, because there's bad people in this card world, and I'll protect anyone that's close to me and around me, but it isn't my job to tell you what to buy and what not to buy. My only job is for me to have a good time, because this is my TV show. This is my channel. This is a way for me to express my opinions about the sports card that I've loved my whole life by myself in a little vacuum, in a little world that I didn't know all these people existed. It's baffling to me, like all these different opinions about cards, and I love talking about them. I love discussing them. It brings me a lot of joy to talk about values, because I grew up in the value era. I grew up in the era where I had a Beckett. Beckett was the thing. I highlighted all of it. Not even the Beckett. It was prior to the Beckett. I should have brought it out. I always talk about it. Highlighted the whole freaking thing. Everything's highlighted. I knew the price of every single card back in 1987 till 90, till now, but till 93 for Beckett. Like, I knew everything in the pre-Beckett's. I'm here to show you guys my journey in this community, in the cards that I'm bringing into my collection that I think will be worth more in the future. This is not to convince you of anything that you're doing. And I'm here to show you guys some cards and how I collect besides centered cards. I don't just collect centered vintage. Centered vintage are for my graded collection. The collection that I think one day is still now, but I think one day will be like world class, one of the greatest collections on the face of the earth as far as aesthetics go. Like, as far as perfectly centered copies, I want to have one of the greatest centered copies on the planet. 20 years from now, I will. I know I will. It doesn't mean that I need to have a Mickey Mantle in a 9 to have the greatest collection in the world. I want to have a Mickey Mantle 51, 52 that looks like a 9, or looks centered, looks beautiful. The image is beautiful. That's where I want my collection to go. That's why I share this stuff. That's why I talk about my opinions. And John sharing his opinion about things is what the hobby's all about. And we go back and forth, because I say something and then someone will, not to put words in John's mouth. I mean, when I speak about words, I struggle with that. I'm not putting any words in anyone's mouth. Me and John, I think a lot of people think that we're so far apart, but we're not. We have so much in common. Like, I got a Dave Parker shirt on. He loves Dave Parker. My favorite baseball card when I was a kid, to this day, vintage card, this and the Eddie Matthews 1960 Topps card. I have my original one with a huge stain on the back. It's beautifully off-centered. It's beautiful. It's slabbed up in my slabs. We have different opinions on certain things, but when it all comes said and done, when he talked about Frankenstein's collections, dude, I'm done with that word. Frankenstein, he's right. It's an ugly word. I don't like it. My collection comes in all shapes, sizes, forms, slabs, unslabbed, ungraded, albums, boxes, you name it, my collection's in it. All the way across. When I show cards, I show my good stuff. I show these certain things because it's fun for me. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to make the greatest collection in the world for the least amount, not going to say the least amount of money in the world. I spend money. I spend good money on cards, but I'm not spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like my biggest purchase in my life was $3,000. So it's not that. And I love hearing John talk about his thoughts. And I love other videos like that where people literally genuinely talk about what is in, as Lou Rock would say, the top of the dome. You do a live, comes from the top of the dome. So, I mean, I just wanted to get on here and do a little inspiration. I want to show you a little bit of my collection that maybe you guys don't know about. Maybe you do. But let me show you guys a few. So some of you guys know that I do my own graded slabs. Now I've shown a box like this last year as well. This is a whole year's worth of pickups in ungraded form. Some of these are cards that I had shown on eBay and then I put them in this box as well. So maybe like a small stack. But all the other ones are all pickups and or cards that I pulled from packs. Because I'm trying to collect. Let's see if I have one up front to show you guys. I know I do here. Yeah, like I'm trying to collect cards like from 1980, let's go 82 to, this is 84. Oh, this is 82. 82 till 93. I'm trying to only collect them in packs. I'm opening wax packs and I'm pulling out the cards and I'm adding them to my collection. And I am selling all my graded versions of the regular Topps cards. My 82, well, I'm keeping my 82 Cal Ripkens because there's no Tiffany's. Keeping 83s, but 84 and up, Don Mattingly's, I've been selling them. All of those, Darryl Strawberries, cards I've had my entire life, graded in PSA 9 forms. Anything, selling them all. And I'm going for the Tiffany's. But on my side PCs, I'm doing these, I'm putting them in my albums. Like this. So this whole box, I've graded these. Every one of these cards has a grade, entered in my system. Look at this, Jim Abbott right here. 93 finest, one card challenge, Shane, shoebox legend, random grab out of there. You got a Mike Trout in the front, or Albert Pujols. Numbered like a $3 card, numbered out of 900. Put it on the slab. Reggie, this one is actually Doug's card. Like, what are the odds? Doug Decon. I know this is in reverse. This is the first time or second time I'm doing a video like this. It's fun to see the card. I gotta ask somebody how to do it so it's not reversed. But, dude, there's more ways to collect than just graded cards. You can grade them yourself and make Avery labels and then create albums like this. This is what I'm doing. So I'm collecting all the Tiffany's cards graded in PSA slabs like I've talked about in a prior video. And this is my ungraded version or my double D graded version. All these 80s cards I either pulled from packs or they were my childhood cards and I put them in slabs. And or some of these are like Doug's. I have albums and albums and albums of ungraded cards. I think I'm at 1,600 in my ungraded, double D graded slab cards, which is a lot to enter. And, you know, it takes years and years and years. But, you know, or you have all the time in the world. This is what I'm doing. Like, this Jose San Francisco. My favorite card from 1987 Topps, period. Wally Joyner's next. I just bought this in a PSA 9 in a Tiffany because that's going to go in my collection for the greatest collection of all time. This will go in my Double D graded collection. And one day in the future, I will sell every card in these albums, and I'll do it on YouTube probably because I think I love the idea. I've always wanted to sell cards for a living. I've been selling cards on eBay since day one. Told you guys the story of how I got in trouble in like 99 because I spent I was buying graded slabs like they grew on trees, vintage cards. I told you I had like 40 Robin Yount rookies. I had Mark McGuire, Tiffany cards up the yin yang, all kinds of stuff. Kobe Bryant rookie cards that you wouldn't believe in 96. I had all his refractors. I had Michael Jordan rookies. I was buying it one place, selling it on eBay. That was when we were taking checks, money orders. I've shown receipts. I have boxes of receipts of like old vintage like Brooks Robinson PSA 7 rookie cards that just like I can't believe I have a receipt for that. That sold for $250 25 years ago. Probably a $3,000 card now. Nolan Ryan rookie cards. Johnny Benches and PSA 8s. I did all that. I've been doing this my whole life. And I've also been doing these side PCs. Now this is a new album. This is relatively new. This is probably 3 years old. But these are cards that I decided I only want to put ones in here that I pulled or they're from my childhood collection. Nothing else gets in here. Unless they're gifts like today. Like this 82 Donruss is going to get in here from Doug. There's other ways to collect cards. And this week, shout out to Turn Back the Clock. I'm gonna have Caesar, he's coming on. Adam, of course, Splendid Sports. And I'm trying to get Hitman 23. Mike, I called you. Hopefully you want to be on. I don't know if he's ever gonna lie, but shout out to Mike. I want to do side PCs, and we're all gonna show different side PCs, whether they're graded, but they're inexpensive side PCs. A way to have fun with the hobby. You don't always have to be buying expensive cards. I may show only graded cards on my channel a lot, but that's not. I don't just collect that stuff. When I go to Target and I'm at Target with my wife and there's a blaster, I'll buy the blaster. I have a box of 2022, probably about 2,500 cards in it. In 2023, and it's just from going to Target and going from my local LCS, which is like this big, and just buying a blaster when I go to the mall, buying a blaster when I go to Target. No other reason than that. It's to me, collecting is so much. There's so much joy in it. You don't need to spend a lot of money. You don't need to be buying anything. You can stop. I've never done a year without buying cards in my life. Probably not a month. But there was a time in like 2009 where we overloaded on boxes and packs, and I told you, I've talked about it before. I spent well over 30 grand one year on unopened stuff. Ripped the crap out of it. I was young, I had a job, I was renting a room to my buddy, dude, it was like a ridiculousness. I never do that anymore. I still buy boxes, I still buy cases for years. Ever since then, I bought a case every year for Christmas. I don't do that anymore. I buy boxes and packs, but I'll buy cards however they come. I enjoy all aspects of cards. I enjoy movie cards. I enjoy everything. There is literally no wrong way to collect. I know everyone's talked about it and we've heard about it and discussed it, but there literally is no wrong way. There might be like a way that you don't get the most bang for your buck, and that's kind of how I like to collect as far as my main collection. But my side PCs, I don't care if I go waste $30 on a blaster and I get nothing. I sell all the commons on eBay anyway, so I'll probably get $50 in the end of the day, and 10 years from now when all those sell. But even if you just put them in a box, you never look at them again. The price of admission is there, $30. It's not going to kill you. A decent meal costs $20 these days. Even Taco Bell is $15 for a decent meal where I live. If you want to get full and you want your belly to be full, it's $15 minimum. Man, I just got inspired and I want to make a video. I can't stress enough how fun this hobby is and how fun it's going to be to grow old in this hobby. And to know that if my legs break and I give out and I can't surf every day, like I've been surfing like 4 hours a day every day this week. If I can't surf, I've got a hobby. I've got something that's going to keep me inspired and keep me loving life. Besides my wife and my family and my friends, I have something outside of that. And that's this baseball card hobby. And there's so much to be said about that. It keeps you alive. It keeps you motivated. It keeps you fired up. Like, if you don't have a hobby when you retire, you go downhill fast. I don't care what the hobby is. Mine happens to be collecting baseball cards and other random cards. And I think that needs to be said loudly and proudly that we love all cards except for football. Football sucks. It's just like, I don't know. I don't like it at all. Just kidding. I actually don't like it and I don't collect football cards, but I just think that having a hobby is healthy as long as you play in this space without spending more than you have, like I did back when I was in high school and I spent too much and I overran the credit card and I had to borrow money, to borrow $1,400 or $2,000 from my Oma and Opa. He gave me a speech because I was keeping too many of those vintage cards, but I wanted to buy and sell baseball cards my entire life. And I went full bore when, graded started and I saw a way to make money and I just kept too many of them. So and that's all I gotta say. Love the hobby, man. I love everything. You know what? I'm gonna end this on a Caesar. I hope it doesn't feel like I'm stealing you. It's an inspiration. Caesar, Pepino Man, I love you. Keep collecting baseball cards forever. And I say, ciao.